and other delegates. Today I'm going to define communism for the channel, or mainly in how I define communism. As me, the first delegate. Communism is defined by the dictionary as a system or theory of social organization in which all property is owned by the state and each person contributes and receives according to their ability and needs. The symbol, but now let's look at the symbolism. The symbol of communism is mainly the hammer and sickle, and multiple others. But the main one is the hammer and sickle. Most people associate this symbol with Russia, for some reason. But it's been done in a multiple variety of communist parties. But see here, the hammer means the industrial worker, and the sickle means the agricultural worker, or the farmers. The hammer is actually, if you look here how they connected the symbol of agricultural workers and the symbol of industrial workers, aka the hammer and sickle, they're connected, which means they are united, which proves both classes uniting to overthrow the capitalists. And also, this is also a gender symbol, representing the unity between both sexes, such as the industrial workers as the men, and the agricultural workers as the women, uniting and interchanging. Then there's this book as well that actually judges communism for what it's done, for what it's supposedly done. I say that in quotation marks because the author said that Joseph Stalin had killed 20 million, but he then later admitted that statistic was actually a high guess or a high estimate. But here's some proof that there was no purge and millions weren't killed. See, from over 100 million, there was a really sharp increase to a really sharp decrease because of World War II between 1940 and 1945. Then it goes to a good increase. It continues to increase until 1991 when the Soviet Union collapsed, but the population starts decreasing, which proves that communists living in a communist society have a higher chance of having more people to govern over. Now let's talk about private businesses in a capitalist society and state-owned businesses in a communist society. In a capitalist society, the people that work for the bosses in the private business can get paid as much as the bosses want them to be. They do not even care how much the person needs or the person's ability. They just pay them a really low amount and let the taxes deduct a large amount of that payment, which leaves the worker with not much money. But in a communist society, state-owned businesses, the government could easily do a census on the people and check their financial situation and pay them towards their ability and needs while monitoring their financial situations. But also communism is said that it's caused a lot of death. But also capitalism has, by supporting dictatorships, to also not helping homeless people get homes or jobs. A homeless person can easily get free education in a communist society as well as free healthcare. They cannot get any of those in a communist society. But say there was a few poor families in one region, they'd get a better standard of living, and also they'd be also given free education and free healthcare. So then they won't have to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars. But they would have to pay a bit of tax as well as have to contribute. You have to contribute some of their earnings to the state. There's been also proof that some people actually enjoy communist societies. Some people that lived in East Germany missed communist societies, the communist society entirely, or missed some components of it. Same thing with people that actually lived during the USSR's reign. But also, the only reason why communism is considered a terrible system is because the rich want to defend themselves. They just want to keep all their money to themselves and not care about the people starving below them. Plus, they are corrupt, inhumane beings sometimes. But we don't just hate the rich. We don't hate them, but we just don't want them to have more wealth than us and be our equals. That's when we get rid of social classes, so that everyone can feel that they are equal to someone else. They're equal to another person, or to everyone else inside that state. So then they can get paid as much as they need, and also to their financial strength, and also to their abilities. For example, but let's look at the school system. Some school systems around the world do not recognize any abilities in students or talents. They just do tests. For example, that just encourages more of a stress on the person. For example, in the real world, when someone's having to have a little drug test, they can, or maybe just fill out a few sheets, paperwork, it can get them overworked and tired, or it can get them kind of stressed out because they do not know if they've taken it, because they don't know if, for example, the medical drug can actually get them in trouble, or, yeah. But in the communist society, drugs can be legal, but up to a certain limit. For example, in North Korea, marijuana is legal. But see, but actually drugs are bad. It's mainly distribution of medical drugs that is at a low cost. That is a good point. Because some medical drugs can actually reach up to 1,000, up to tens of thousands. And now with free healthcare, you can pay only just a few, about a few hundred for those pills. Same thing with other medical procedures. As well, communism does bring people down to a human point of caring for sharing and dividing their stuff amongst everyone else. The rich, are really greedy, and every human is. But see, the rich don't want communism because one thing, they do not want to lose most of their wealth. See, they do not lose all their wealth. They only get the remaining wealth they get after they lose. Most of it will be enough to continue. Will actually be enough for them to fit into a communist society. There'd be also the USSR. For example, the USSR actually had massive industrial capability. So does China to this day. Because communism also encourages industrialization and moving forward. Because the Soviet Union, the People's Republic of China, actually, in some strength of science, have actually managed to prove ahead of the USA. For example, the Russians' launch of Sputnik, and also the Soviets' launch of the astronaut Yuri Gagarin, as well as building the world's first ICBM. Yeah, and also a communist Hungarian inventing the Rubik's Cube. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video of how I define the first delegate defines communism. Please subscribe if you want to join the International Communist Party. As well, we do not have a Patreon, we do not require money. There is no sign-up sheets, just subscribe and comment what we should do, what you think of communism, and what we should do about, and what we should do in a communist society. Thank you for watching. This was War History, the First Delegate, signing out.